Hello, my fibre fairies. Welcome to podcast number 2. We didn't know if there was going to be a number 2, but here we are. Turns out that is what was going to happen, and I wasn't sure how long I was going to leave between the podcast, if I was going to do it. And like how much time I would let elapse before I had enough accumulated to show you. And then I realized I should probably show you guys something fairly soon because I've got a lot of acquisitions, and the longer I leave it, the worse my yarn hoarding will probably look. So it is well and truly autumn here in New Zealand. It's getting colder, hence the fire going in the back. And I've been finally finished my first winter knit. And this is my Ranunculus by Midori House, I think. I did a size 7, so like 70 centimetres of positive ease, based on like the first picture from the model, as I've said before. Yes, I did a slit on the side rather than joining it, and I also made it a little bit longer at the back. But that also means that it'll rise up a lot here and sit quite low in the back, which I think is fine, although it does kind of give a weird, like it's not the most flattering shape, but it's oversized, so comfort is the main thing. I still haven't blocked this or weaved in the hens because I've just been wearing it this whole time. But I will say I've gotten a bit more sensitive to having any type of acrylic in my yarn, and this has acrylic in it, and I only recently found out that there's actually exactly the same yarn that you can buy, but it's 100% baby alpaca. And I'm kind of kicking myself because it's like, even though this one's slightly fluffier, I could have used that yarn and potentially not be experiencing this sensation that I'm not entirely comfortable with. Like, it's so soft, but maybe it's the alpaca being itchy, I don't know. And I live in this thing, so why am I really complaining? Because obviously I like it and it's comfortable. Hello, Ginger. But I have decided to sell the other one of the yarn of this that I have. Hello. Because I got it also in the baby blue. So this is the alpaca ear, and it has 80% baby alpaca, 20% polyamide, and I have like 4 or 5 balls of this, so I'm just going to sell it, because if I'm going to be weird about it and get it in my head that I don't like the plastic in this yarn, then I'm not going to want to wear the final object that I make with it. So I'd much rather not use this now. And I love blue yarns, and there's so many lovely blue yarns out there. I might as well get like the perfect one and not one that I'm not 100% on. And with that same thinking, and with that, I'm also thinking of selling this yarn, which also has 23% nylon. I was going to use this to make the Made You Fall dress with the it's bracelet length sleeves, but now I'm like, could I? But this isn't the correct. It doesn't reach gauge, and so I'd have to size down. And I'm like, I can probably find something nicer in a yarn that's not as warm so that I can wear the dress year round. Or maybe a merino just to be a bit more breathable. Like, I live in merino. These are merino pants. These are my mum's pants from Icebreaker, like 90s Icebreaker. And they're great. Sorry, I can't see what I'm doing. Hello, Ginge. It's a bit hard to see. But they've got like a little bootleg. I'm doing a terrible job at this. Look, I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna stand here. That's not helpful. What am I doing? Anyway, these pants, merino, so comfortable, live in it. What if I made pants like these out of this? Don't know if I want to make pants with hand-dyed yarn though, that will hurt my wallet. Might just leave that one. As you can see, there's no order to this podcast, it's just me talking at you and recording my thoughts as they come, in whatever order they come. So yes, things for sale, that, and also this. It's a mohair and 30% acrylic. And it's like, I like these yarns, but it's simply like I don't love them enough to spend my time making things with them. Well, at least if I'm going to be fussy about wearing it. If it's for someone else that I'm knitting it for who's not going to be fussy about having plastic in it, then I could keep them on for that, but my yarn stash is getting bulky and I think I'd just rather make, because I'm being restrictive with my space, I might as well, and I'm not going to stop buying yarn, obviously I'm addicted, so that just means I have to sell yarn every now and then to make space, to get a bit of my money back, and keep enjoying my knitting and yarn buying. And somebody else will, like, I bought this off Trade Me, someone else will find use for it and joy from it. So those are to sell, to pass on to a better home. I finished this. I just cast on this. So this is the Look at My Holes top by James N. Watts. Look at My Holes top by James N. Watts. I got inspired by Heather and Hops, her version of this. She recently did a one with more positive ease and without any of like the ribbing neckline, which I like, and I am kind of going off of the other one that she made, which was more tight fitting with the ribbing, and it's just like a little t-shirt. So I'm making this out of Purple Sprouting's yarn. I can't remember the name of it, but this is in a 4-ply merino. I've got no idea what the gauge is for this pattern, I just started knitting, and a 4-ply merino kind of seemed, like by eyeballing it, it seemed alright. I just can't be bothered looking up the yarn that they recommend and trying to figure out what it is, and I suppose I could see from the gauge, but these are 5.5 needles, which are even bigger than what is recommended for that yarn. Yeah, if it's wrong, then it becomes something else, and then it will be right. Okay. Now, I don't know what's happened to me, but I've suddenly just... I simultaneously want to do all of the bright colours, but also all of the neutrals. So, I put this on my Instagram, but I recently made this top. This is, the yarn is, it's probably not going to look great here. I'll maybe insert the video from my Instagram where I take it out in the sunshine. But this is a banana silk yarn that I got just from Knit World. It's, oh, I didn't bring any of my ball bands in. Oh wait, no, I got the same thing in black. Oh, and there's also no ball band. So that's what I have left over from this project. This is leftovers from 2 skeins of it. So 2 100-gram skeins. Oops, upside down. And so what I did is I followed a sewing tutorial on YouTube. I can't remember the name of the girl who did it, but I looked at a few and I liked her tutorial the best, and she has a free sewing pattern for making the corset. And all I did is I printed out that pattern and I knitted panels corresponding to each piece of the sewing pattern. And this yarn is really slobby. Am I saying that right? Slubby? What's the term? When it goes different sizes. And this lighting is terrible. But then I just stitched it together with some op shop, that means secondhand store, yarn, stitched all the pieces together, and then added some velvet ribbon straps, as well as the velvet ribbon at the back with the D-rings. So I'll link the YouTube video and sewing pattern. All credit to that designer. If you guys want to try and make one yourself. It's quite a fun freehand knit. I definitely drew inspiration, particularly from Regan Makes Stuff, who I've mentioned before. Her awesome freehand knits, as well as the thick stitching that she does on the garments. It's so good. And also Bow Meadow. Like, they each have very distinctive styles, but they both exist within that kind of free form, freehand, abstract, abstract way of knitting. So this is this, and I'm trying to build an outfit for it, and I did post something like this. I did post pictures of this on my Instagram. But I want to pair it with this satiny shirt. And this is quite oversized. So wear it over top of that. And then I was trying to find something to wear on the bottoms for it. I hope that you guys can hear me all right. And do I turn this up? Now I'm getting conscious. Can you... How does this sound? Oh no, that sounds good. Okay. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. How about here? Okay. So, and I realized I didn't have anything in my wardrobe that I could wear underneath if I wanted to match perfectly. And then I cast on this WIP randomly. I thought it was going to be a vest. I'm really sorry about the lighting. I should be doing this during the day. But this is just a bunch of op shop yarn that I brought sometime last year when I was just getting back into knitting. It's a 1x1 rib, and so I've just been messing around with making up a colour work scheme. But in the rib, I kind of like the inside too. And I've decided that this will become a skirt to match with this. So this part will be like the bottom of the skirt, which will be just around the tops of the thighs, and then it will, so I decided to keep knitting up, and then it will go over the hips and be waist length. This is not the best angle for me to be trying to show you this. So this will go like that length. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Yes, yes. I think you get the idea. And then, I didn't show this on my Instagram post, but I think it will also go with my cape. Maybe. Ba-ba-da-da. My goal in life is to dress such that I am living my own fairy tale, my own knitted fairy tale. Fibre fairies only. I'm gonna be making like a halter neck style top with this, probably with like a big circle cutout. So it'll be structured collar, halter neck, very similar construction to that white crochet piece that I showed you in the last podcast, the one with the star stitch. Very similar construction to that, but made out of this. And I've got 2 of these as well, so I know that I can get a lot out of it. I can get a whole crop top. Okay, it's tiny. It's like just, it's not a lot, but this will definitely be enough for that. And I might, should I do like a black velvet tie, like do the D-rings again, and do like a black velvet tie at the back? It's going to stretch, the yarn's going to stretch, so I don't want to do buttons, because then when it stretches I have to move the buttons. So if I can do something, a lacing I think is better, because it will still mean I can do it up properly, even when the yarn stretches. Okay. Cheers, I'm drinking some coconut water. Now, I'm going to turn this light off. I think that kind of looks better. My forehead isn't as shiny now. But can you still see the yarn? Okay. Yeah, I think we can work with this. Or is it okay? Sorry, I just stopped halfway through the podcast to change my lighting. Typical, didn't even start properly. Well, I want to talk about what I got at Woolfest. My nana and I went to Woolfest in Auckland last weekend, and it has been really hard not to cast on with any of the yarn, but I've been busy finishing my dad's socks, so I promised myself that I would only knit on those. I was trying to get them done for his birthday on Wednesday, but they're overdue. I've finished them now though. And I got, a bunch of yarn from Woolfest. Had a great time with my nana. We drove up and back that day. Met my partner's mum and auntie there too. His auntie's a knitter, his mum's not, but I think we might get her into it. That's the goal. She's keen. And so I managed to get a lot of yarn I only got yarn from local growers and dyers. And so all the yarn I got has been grown in New Zealand and dyed in New Zealand. Oh no, except for the first yarn that I brought. That one's been hand dyed in New Zealand, but it's a silk, so it's not from New Zealand. Okay, so we'll just start with the Woolfest yarns. I didn't try at all. I was overwhelmed that day. There was a lot of people at the Woolfest. It was awesome. I felt really weird pulling out my phone. I had intended to video a lot more, and I took like 2 videos. So there's one video of like bags of freshly shorn fleece, and then there's a video of like some massive spools of wool. So I don't know, maybe I'll put those up. I did not capture the event whatsoever, but I did get some gorgeous yarns. Look at that. I don't know if this light is nice or not. Is that probably a bit harsh? I don't know. That's looking kind of not true to colour. Well, I mean, it's not going to be because I'm filming at night, like the smart person that I am. So these lighting issues should have been anticipated, but I don't think that's good either. This is the blue silk from Untitled Designs. I know. Also, sorry, I am overheating. If you'd seen last podcast, I was wearing this camisole number 2 then as well. I'm still in the middle of sewing the elastic. This is going to be my lighting. Coconut water bottle and a head torch. Yeah, I'm still busy sewing the elastic into my shell bra, and like I would be wearing that, but yeah, it's like currently under construction. I have been wearing it without the elastic, but now that I've started doing it, I need to finish it. Anyway, back to the yarn. This stuff is gorgeous. It's 100% silk, hand dyed by Hani Hooley's Designs. 100% mulberry silk, fingering 4-ply, colorway new tattoo. So cool. I definitely need to take some proper photos of this. It is single spun. So it's just the one thread. And I'm thinking of making maybe the crop top that Unlucky Knits has in testing at the moment. It's this really cool crop top that has this angular portion here, like that, but then it's just got the one shoulder, so there's nothing here, if that makes sense. I'm not too sure if this will be the right yarn for it though, because it might be too drapey for that structured look, and maybe I'm better off making like a little drapey top. And I only have the one skein, so I want to just make one crop top with it. Yes, so that's that. So I knew going into the Woolfest that I wanted to get a 100% silk item, because I'd been told earlier that this yarn dye was going to be there and was going to have 100% silk, and I decided that I needed that in my life. And the next purchase I made is this 100% alpaca from Hill Country alpacas. So this is their alpaca fleece that has been spun and dyed. And this was quite well priced. This was $50 for these two skeins, so $25 each. Yes, gosh. And I like the twist on it. Is that focusing or not? I can't tell. It's just me. Yeah, I like that kind of spun look. So I'm going to make a vest with this. I did go back later and ask if they had any more, because I realised I might need more, and they didn't. So, because I was going to do a cable vest, but now I'll just do like a stockinette stitch vest of some description, I think. Just keep it simple. So that was my second purchase from there. The silk was $56, I think, for the 100 grams, so it's a luxury fibre, that's for sure. And that's why I only got the one, because I can get one lovely top out of it, and that's all I need. Then, oh, okay, so, oh, damn it. I have a photo on my phone that tells me what plants were used to dye this. This is from Toshiba Yarn. This is Saxon Merino. It has been dyed with indigo and a type of wood, and I can't remember what the wood is. I'll put it on the screen. So it's this mixture of blues and yellows, and I got 3 skeins of this that looks exactly the same, and then there's another skein that is a little bit different. So those 3 are the same, and then this one's a bit bluer, so I think this one might have been dyed first or something, and then these ones followed. So I'm going to make a cardigan out of this, a cropped maybe balloon sleeve cardigan with 3 big buttons down the middle. Yeah, these were also, I think, really reasonably priced. They're each 100 grams, and Oh, actually no, sorry, I can't actually remember what I paid for each of them. So some of them say they're 8 ply, some of them say that they're sport. They look like exactly the same, so if they're not, then they're going into the same project and it'll just have to work. And the last purchase I made was these two hanks. So this one's got more of a blue tinge to it. This is more of like a peachy tan colour. Maybe let's try it without the light for a minute. Is it better without the light? Maybe I should show you the other things without the light too, or is that being excessive? That might be excessive. So this was done with hypersimmon and baking soda. This more tan coloured one was dyed with. And this one was with mahoe. And this one's also got a very cool twist on it. I like the look of that. I bought this from, this was near the end of the festival and it died down a lot towards the afternoon. It was hectic first thing. It was like, I had to go and leave some stuff in the car because it was so difficult for me to weave between people. And I'm not just because my bag was too full of things, I couldn't like easily squeeze in between people and get to look at yarn, so that's how packed it was. I bought this off of Lisa from Waitoki Wool, and so she got this stuff commercially spun, but she said that she's not going to be doing that anymore, so and these are like the only 2 big hanks she had left at that time. She was wearing this, if you guys went to the Woolfest you might have seen her, she had this Mad Hatter-esque felted multicolour hat on. She was there selling fleece from her farm, and yeah, these were one of the few spun fibres that she had left. There was only these 2 and then a few other smaller balls of different colours, and so I think I might either do a very, very subtle colour work or Fair Isle in this, in just the 2 colours, and make a vest. Or I will knit them both in the round and just alternate between the 2, and it will be like a variegated effect of sorts, or just blend into one middle colour. And so those are all my Woolfest purchases. Just on the subject of purchases, I might have mentioned that I had yarn coming in the mail last time, and I got this yarn here to do the Silver Night socks in. I can't remember the name of the designer. Oh shit, sorry. Is that helpful or is that just annoying? So this is under like a blue LED light. Oh look, I can show you the difference. My fancy lighting setup. LED light. Right, and then just anyway, it's white. So I'm gonna make the socks in this. I used that sock pattern already to make my dad's socks, which I'll have in here. And I just didn't do the chart. There's the really cool leaf leaf lace work. Oh, I will need the light for this though. You won't be able to see any of the detail because it's a dark coloured yarn that I used. So these are the first socks that I've knit, and I believe it's a heel flap and gusset construction. 3.5mm needles, so nothing too tiny. I love how the back of the how the heel flap turned out. I don't know what that stitch is called, but I like it. It's so nice how your foot just slots into this heel area and just stays there. It's like this is structured for a foot. It's not just a tube like a normal machine made sock. It's actually structured around to fit your foot. So these are for my dad. I did the 2x1 rib all around the ankle, and then that goes into a 1x1 rib at the top, and I like how those flow into one another. And then it goes into knitting for the sole. On the arch I did 2x1 ribbing just there. This was after NJ Knits talked about how she'd done ribbing on the sole of one of her socks and it had made it really fit nicely. So I took her advice there. And there's the ribbing that's continuing on the front of the foot, and then just a Kitchener stitch toe. I don't like doing magic loop for these, it hurts my wrists. I don't like doing it with double pointed needles either, it's finicky, although I did double points for the toes. I want to get those the needles where there's one longer and one shorter, and it's like on a 30 centimeter cable. So I'm looking out for some of those for when I want to knit this. Or I mean I can work with the magic loop. Maybe I'll just do the magic loop. Depends how cold my feet get and how desperate I get to knit myself some socks. Okay. Still going. Fantastic. I might need to edit out some of those crackly fire pops. Sorry, they might be a bit hard on your ears. Finished object number 2, I suppose. I forgot to show you this last time. I don't really know what to do with this. So this is one of the projects that I had unfinished from when I was knitting at age 7. It was supposed to be a slipper. So this whole body part here, I had already knit up. It's from when I was a child. This is some plasticky, acrylic, soft stuff, whatever. I added on these borders with the white and a green cotton and a strap, and it's kind of a crop top. I make a lot of crop tops. No comment. And it's supposed to tie up at the back. It's a bit of a mess. It doesn't fit right, or at least it didn't last time I tried it on, and it's a pain to try and put on, so this is just languishing. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's really soft, and I don't want to unravel it because this is knitting that I did as a kid that I want to make into something that I will wear. I have to figure that one out. And put you in there. Why did I bring this? I've been knitting on my slanting slip over a little bit more. Now that it's more seasonally appropriate. You can see the patterning in the centre. So it's a twisted rib around the collar. There's lots of mistakes in here. I cast this on spring last year. And I put it down over the summer months and I've picked it back up again. It's made out of the same Snafug yarn as my shoulder warmer thingy and the white jersey that I'm wearing in the last podcast. Let's have a look at it without the light. Okay. That's it, just a normal light. Lots of mistakes, leaving them all in, doesn't matter. Gonna finish it, gonna wear it, it's gonna be cozy. And so when I feel this yarn, and then I feel this one, it's just so much nicer. And part of me is thinking, but there is alpaca in this. Maybe it's the Chusky yarn, maybe it's the alpaca. But this is Chaska yarn. This is the cotton and the alpaca blend. I think it's on sale in Spotlight at the moment. Although that sale's probably already over, or at least it will be by the time I release this video. Yeah, I'm wondering if I'm just reacting to the alpaca more, or if it actually is the plastic. Yeah, I don't know. So when I placed, we're just gonna go round in circles, sorry. But when I ordered this and the white craft yarn that I got, which was, I ordered 10 balls of white cotton because it was $25, so $2.50 a ball. And when I got it, realised it was craft cotton. So more for like making handbags or macrame stuff or like sun hats. So I used some of it to make a dishcloth for Mum for Mother's Day, but it's not very nice to knit with. And when I made that order to get that deal, I also threw in this sock yarn and this here, which is Luxurious by Alpaca Yarn, who I think are the same ones that are behind the Chaska stuff. A blend of linen, mulberry silk, superfine merino, and superfine baby alpaca. It is so soft. It's, I think, in the natural colorway. I got 3 skeins of this. I think I'm going to get more, and I'm going to make like a nice shirt that can cover my neck, my arms, and act more as a sun protective garment. Let's try it with that light. Because it'll be good for the in-between seasons. That doesn't really make it look good, does it? If I hold it back here. Yeah, because it'll be too hot to wear in summer. But it would be good for in spring and autumn when I want to be out in the sun, but I still want something a little bit warm on. Because I'll hang out, like I hung out pretty much all day wearing this yesterday because it was so nice, and didn't overheat, but I was staying in the shade, so when it did get around to the midday point, I did have to change out of that, but hopefully this will be lighter and a bit more comfortable. I also got, so this is by this is Kishi by Happy Go Nitty. This is a silk merino blend. This is 100 grams of the stuff. This also has to be a top. It just has to be next to skin. I'm going to see what I can make out of the one skein. Yeah. You pop those away. I've also started keeping my yarn in like the plastic that the newspaper comes in. My parents have ripped into it in the morning. But it's great for just putting yarn in. You get a plastic band. Your asparagus will come with the rubber band tied around it. You just keep those and use them to tie up the ends of these bags. And I did put some of my stuff in bags because I wanted to put it in the freezer to just as a precaution against there being any moths in it. And I'm a bit paranoid about this particularly, so I can still put these in my I can still put these in my yarn trolley and see them and know what yarn I've got, but they're also protected. And it looks quite good. So yeah, just reusing some plastic there. Now I am going to put the rest of these yarns just in bags because that fire is a bit spitty and I don't want an ember to catch on one of these. That would be the worst. I think the yarn in the drawer is safe. Yes, I brought my knitting drawer out with me. That fire's cooling down. Some more on. I started knitting something with like 4 yarns held together, decided I didn't like it, ripped it apart, and then haven't wound the balls back into balls because it's all a big tangle. But I'll show you anyway, because I'm just going to expose myself and my mess. This is the Adrifill. Try and ignore that yellow in there. I mean, it could look kind of cool with the yellow, but... So this Adrifill yarn, multicoloured, self-patterning or self-striping or whatever. Yeah. Oh man, my lighting system's not being cooperative today. Thank you for your patience with me. Because this will not change. This is how we work here. And if you're here for it, you're here for it. And thank you for listening to me go on and around in circles. And also thank you for dealing with my technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. So I was doing like a fisherman's rib using one of the knit stitches as white and then the rest of the stitches in the multicoloured. I'm sure that you've seen on Instagram, or if you haven't, I'll put a picture up, but how they'll do the white, like white stripes through a yarn that changes colour. So that's the idea that I had with this, but I'm not in love with the yarn right now. So I think I'm just going to set this one to the side and come back to it when I'm interested again. This, I had shown you this yarn in the previous podcast. I had it knit up with a couple of other things in a kind of freehand experimental piece that's still sitting somewhere. I don't know if I'm going to finish it or not. That one's also, what's the term? On ice. I'm going to make Unlucky Knits free jersey pattern using this. I've read the pattern so far and she says something about a folded collar but doesn't actually give instructions on how to do it, or whether it's just like you make it and then you fold it and you, I suppose you sew it in, but she doesn't. It's supposed to be a beginner friendly pattern, but she's not very explicit with that, but it is a free pattern. So I'm going to, I think, do a provisional cast on and make the folded collar, and yeah, I'm just going to do it that way. That pattern is super cute and I really want that jersey, so I'm just going to hold this single. I am trying to be more conscious about making garments specifically for the climate that I live in, and I can't make anything too heavy because it doesn't get cold enough for that type of stuff where I live. And I don't want to be sitting in a restaurant and sweating in a dress that I've made. But then, yeah, so layering pieces rather than one thing that's super warm is what I'm aiming for, and kind of in that realm. Now, I had talked about casting this on last podcast, and this is kind of my swatch, I suppose. I had thought about holding this with like a cotton yarn, but all the little swatches I did, it looked bad, so I just prefer it by itself. This is Purple Sprouting's Dust Storm. I think that's what it's called, on a Surrey alpaca silk. I think it's such a cool yarn. And I'm making the Peony Sweater by the Sylvia Knits in this. The gauge seems to be a little bit small, but I think I'm still going to make the smaller size. There's 3 sizes and there's quite a lot between each size. And like this was, so you add 30 centimeters onto your bust size, and then as in 30 centimeters worth of positive ease, or 25, whatever you choose, and then you select the size based on that. And my measurement was going to be, I think, 116. Yeah, 116. And the small size is 108. And then the medium size is like 130, I think. And I don't want to go too baggy, but then I kind of want it to be a dress, but then maybe I just keep knitting and make it longer, because I have to keep in mind that this is, I don't want to go too big because it will end up costing a lot more money, because this is a hand-dyed yarn. But then obviously I don't want that to mean that I make a garment that isn't exactly what I want. So I think it would be better to spend the money, get all the yarn I need, make it the big oversized fit that I would like, rather than skimping and making it too small and not enjoying it. And I also want that kind of lighter layering piece. Like, it's kind of what I would want to be wearing now, because I don't really want to be sitting here in my crop top, but then this is a little bit too warm. But I want something knitted to wear, because I'm obsessed with wearing knitwear and I don't want to put on like normal clothes. So I need to knit myself this for wearing in this type of situation, but then also with like little cotton two-piece underneath maybe, or like a fitted vest corsety thing in a blue cotton over the top of the big baggy dress. So very milkmaid fantasy attire type thing. I'm a big fantasy fan, so that would be the goal. And obviously the reason I'm overheating is because I've got a roaring fire behind me, but you know, aesthetic purposes, and it's also very comfortable, like cozy having the fire on. So what haven't I talked about? Oh yeah, these are, oh, well, that's getting a bit messy. These are the op shop yarns that I'm using. They're like 50 cents or $1 each. That's for the skirt. If I run out, I'll just go find another yarn of this palette and finish it with that. Maybe I'll go to another op shop hunt and try and find that, because oh, maybe I'll have enough. I might just see. I might just play yarn chicken. Okay, yarn chicken it is with that one. So yeah, I'd make the like matching two-piece or over corset vest thing with this blue yarn, or with like a dark blue yarn. Now, something else I failed to show you last time, and I thought I'd just bring everything out so I'm more accurately documenting where I'm at with things. I had started camisole number 5 with this cotton yarn, which is just baby tooth grut, whatever it's called, like the standard cotton 4-ply yarn from Spotlight. It's quite well priced, on par with like the Flinders cotton, like in the $5 range, I think. And I tried to do some colour work on it, not loving it. I was just going to do random bits of white every so often, but I think I just prefer this in all green, and I'm quite liking how it's looking under the LED light. If I turn it off. Is it focused? I can't tell. Yeah. And don't worry, I didn't forget, but I had said that I was going to make the camisole number 5 out of this merino. This is Most Excellent Mushroom by Purple Sprouting. I didn't mention that earlier. And I'm like, I was going to make a matching pair of shorts and top with this. Now I'm overheating again. But it might end up being the matching camisole number 5 and like long pants like these, because these are merino pants and they're so comfy, and I love a good little flare leg. Can't find any patterns like of exactly what I want on Ravelry, so I will need to come up with something myself. But I'm getting wary of my experimentation because it's left me with some projects that I haven't finished or don't know what to do with, and so I'd rather than having so many things on ice, because I've got them out myself to a point where I have to really think through what I'm doing, and sometimes I can't be bothered, would be to just follow a pattern and then know I'm going to get something nice at the end of it. Or I do have a shorts pattern, I have the butt shorts pattern. I could use that as a basis and then just keep knitting and do decreases to shape around the legs and increases for the flare. Or I think I want to get a pants pattern. Yeah, that's not something that I want to, because that's a lot of work, right? Knitting pants, I don't want to mess it up. I wouldn't want to finish one leg and then be like, oh, that's wrong, and have to wrap that all back and start again. Like, that'll destroy me and my limited patience. So if I can find a pattern that is just close enough to what I want, like a form-fitting and then flare pair of pants, then or even if it doesn't have the flare part, even if it just gets like the top part right, like the part around the hips and waist, that would be good. Actually, that would be a great like a great pattern to write that was sized based on the shape of your body. So like you'd take your very much how Ocean Knits does her sizing with the charts for the different areas of the body, and then corresponding stitches that you then fill in to the pattern for each of those regions. That wasn't a very good way of explaining it. Anyway. Oh, I have cast on another thing. Where is it? Oh no. I cast on the Oh My Figure dress. This is in Kremke Soul Wool. Morning Salutation, which is a vegan yarn made of cotton and lyocell. So this is going to be a dress. It's going to be sleeveless, maybe about knee length, and I'm going to put a slit in it and it's a 3x3 rib all the way through, and has a cool little geometric shaping, like a diamond over the chest and stomach area. That makes it sound weird. I'll put up a picture, then it'll probably make more sense. And this here is another thing I didn't show last time. This is for, this is a gift knit for my partner's mum. And this is the one where I ran out of yarn. So it was this cotton chain net thing, cotton wool blend. This is from Spotlight. It was the Cleek Heaton. No, sorry, wrong one. And I ran out of it because of the cables. And so I do have this yarn, which it like fits the colour perfectly. It's just got that different texture. And it looks okay because I have been knitting this held together with a white mohair. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the blue fluffy. I've already done that, but I need to go back. And I'm going to do the blue fluffy just in between each of the cables. And then with the rest of the cotton yarn, I'm going to keep doing the cables. So it's like, it's going to have kind of like a fluffy top, but only the bit in between the cables maybe. And I think that way it will blend a little bit better when I'm adding this other much thicker fluffy yarn. If that doesn't work, I'm going to have to go find a yarn to replace it. Yeah. But I don't want this one to be, like, I just want this one to be finished. Her birthday is in July, so I've got a bit of time. But you know how it can very quickly change. You think you got heaps of time for a gift knit, and then suddenly it's 2 weeks away and you haven't cast on. It's like knitting takes ages. So this is very much testing my ability to plan in advance of things, which I am not good at all. But it is something I need to get better at. So that's one of the benefits of knitting, is it's making me think in bigger periods of time. Okay. I made a tiny bit of progress on my orange crocheted madness jacket. And I have decided that the back portion of it, I want the... I don't know what that was. The back portion of it will join into like wings for a cape. So, because it is going to be so warm, it's going to be a jacket. See that there. But so I want to keep a bit of it open. I don't really like it with the light. Oops. So I think I want to keep the underside arm open like that. And then, sorry, I can't see what I'm doing. And so then, so that'll be the arm there, right? And then I'm just going to keep crocheting this part back, and then this will come to join, or come out flat and join in the back of the other one, kind of like folded wings on the back of an insect. So that's what it will look like. And so I'm just going to, so I've been crocheting around like this the whole time, and now I'm just going to not crochet anymore on this front bit, but just keep going back here and just keep going, making these big wings, and then yeah, so it'll be look super cropped at the front, and then have this big capey bit at the back, and yeah, hopefully not be too warm, because it's very thick yarn that's been crocheted. So I need to make it a jacket that fits with this climate. I feel like I could have done that neater, but maybe I can go over it again and it will shut off a bit much there. Just trying to think if I have anything else to tell you or show you. I did. Oh, thank you so much for all of the lovely comments on my previous podcast. I wanted to start with talking about that. I wanted to start this video talking about that, but me and structure don't really work, so we get to it when we get to it. But that's something I really wanted to say was you guys are all so lovely, and it really warmed my heart reading all of your comments, and I got so many words of advice and helpful suggestions, and I'm going to be applying a number of those. I haven't been working on a lot of those WIPS, but I do intend to try out some of the techniques that you recommended, and I got a lot of suggestions for this. Something I did try out was putting a crocheted link at the back. Someone suggested this actually after I'd already done it, which was quite funny. I was like, oh yeah. And she had also had a lot of other great suggestions for fixing the underarm stuff. So I haven't fixed the underarm yet. The back still looks weird when I put it on, but it just fits a bit nicer now. And I will actually, if it's really cold outside and I've got this thing on, I'll just wrap this on over the top. And then, because it's over top of something big and baggy, it doesn't really matter that it doesn't fit right, or that the back's really big. But it means that it has to be down here, right? Because the issue is with these parts of the sleeves being too short. So, yeah, I think I just need to unstitch it. Steeking was suggested as well, which I don't know how to do, but I would like to look up because I do think that will definitely be a solution for this. But yeah, the back is still weird. And so this is the yarn that I'm blending in with the beanie, the slouch beanie. I didn't even tell you what that was. Sorry, we're not doing too good today. This is going to be a slouchy beanie. I don't know, maybe I just showed this and assumed that you would know what it was, but priorities, Taylor, tell them what you're making. A slouchy beanie, the Marigold slouch. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Beware though, I had to cast on way less stitches than what's recommended. I looked at everybody's project notes and there was a definite trend of the beanie, the slouch being way too big. And so I looked at other people's stuff and took advice from what other people had done, and it's okay. I don't really know what it's going to look like. I think I might have added a few more increased rows to get it more beret-ish and add more slouch at the back, so making up for the slouch that I no longer have because I reduced the number of stitches at the front, but then adding that in at the back. Because some of the ones where they had removed, like reduced the number of cast-on stitches, those hats did tend to look a lot more like beanies rather than like a slouchy hat. So yeah, also looking at beret constructions, because they have a lot of increases really fast from my observations. Is there anything else? I think that might be it. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy all of your comments and input, and am very thankful for all of your suggestions and support overall. What a great little community we are fostering here. And yeah, I'm so happy that so many people are sharing their knitting experiences and documenting online. I'm getting so much inspiration from so many other creatives, and also from the locally produced fibres that I have access to. So that's something that I'm going to be fostering with myself, is trying to... It's a fun game to see how local I can get my fibres, and after Woolfest that really showed to me that there is so much here in New Zealand. I don't need to buy yarn from Wool and the Gang or order Sunnisgun, or I don't need any of those overseas yarns unless I want them, but I don't. I'm quite happy with what I've got here, what I can acquire from New Zealand. So I want to continue hunting for good providers of those yarns. If you are also looking for local stuff in New Zealand, I recommend looking at the Woolfest Traders Facebook page. There's a list there of all the people who are at Woolfest, and there's so much cool stuff. I even found a yarn that matches my hair colour. I'll put a photo up, but that was from Heather Ware. I think it was called Fireside. And it perfectly matches my hair, and I think she does it on a merino silk base. So that was one of the yarns I didn't purchase, but because she only had one skein on a 100% merino base, I think. And so she's one I'm intending to order from once I figure out a pattern to make with that, because I also couldn't immediately imagine what I was making, whereas I could when I made like this purchase and the other yarn purchases. It was like, okay, I'll make that, cool. But with the one that's the same hair colour as mine, I was like, I want to make a t-shirty thing, but not a cumulus blouse, but something kind of like that, which is a pattern by Petite Knit. And then I ordered yarn for the jersey I'm going to make for my partner. I'm going to make the Hanslow, I think that's right, sweater by Petite Knit. I got that from Fibre to Go. It's a 100% merino wool base from New Zealand. Cool. DK weight, it's called Ziggy, is the base, and the colourway is called Jungle, and it is pretty much exactly that colour. But this is a plant-based yarn, not a merino. So I'm going to make that for him. I'm really excited to cast that on. And then I also talked to, no, we haven't decided. I'm going to gift knit something for my friend in exchange for her doing some album artwork for my band. She's got some really cool art. It's rain.co, REINE.co. Her illustrations are on Instagram. They're really cool. And I'm going to knit her something in exchange for that. Maybe like a dress of sorts, or like an oversized t-shirt thing. She's going to send me some stuff to do. So look at some inspiration stuff. Don't want to talk about any of these guys. Oh yeah, Chipperfield alpacas also had some cool stuff. I didn't buy from them. I kind of got close to buying from them, but that's like, I got cards from the places that I was like, either they had stuff that I wanted and I wanted to get more of it later, or I just generally liked their things but didn't want to get anything then. Dye Studio 54 as well. They had some cool stuff, some other cool, like, amber coloured yarn. So kind of like the Fireside, but it was called Ginger. Oh, it was called Too Much Ginger. No, Never Too Much Ginger or something. Which was an inside joke with the dyers in their knitting group, I believe. And it was quite ginger. It was a close match to my hair, but not as good as the Heather Wear yarn. How long has that been? Oh, an hour 16. Time flies. Oh, I did a project vlog for that corset, for that pink corset. I vlogged the process, and I think I might put that together with some other footage, and maybe post a vlog. I'm not sure. So that might happen, might not. Who knows? I think we'll call it there. Thank you so much for being here with me by the fire. Yes, we did get a cat visit today, didn't we? That was nice. I will. I look forward to hearing any of your thoughts in the comments. If you have any suggestions for a top and the same for that yarn that's the same colour as my hair, I would love to hear them. If you've got any recommendations, throw them in the comments. It's a slightly variegated yarn, so I don't like to have too much texture when I've got a multicoloured thing, but it's not like this. It's not. So I wouldn't put this in like a ribbing piece or a like a textured piece like that, but I would put this in a stocking net or like this type of thing. But I would do a rib with this. Do you see what I mean? So yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think I'm getting tired. Things are starting to not make sense. But yes, any top suggestions would be much appreciated. They can be textured or non-textured, actually. I just made that decision then. Haha. Decision making. Something I also struggle with and can't do very well sometimes. But we work on these things. I don't think there's anything else. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are managing to find some time to look after yourself, to breathe, to find some gratitude for this beautiful, crazy world we live in. What's the quote? With all its shame, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be careful, take care, and strive to be happy. See you guys next time.